Welcome back to another week of Conscious Thought, Roots Reggae Radio. Thanking all the people out there who are working with the program and helping the situation to grow. I'm on check my last week and say how my radio game is strong. The radio game at Roots Reggae Radio is strong. Saying it's a collective force and a collective energy of people working together to create something. And when you get the right people together, anything can go on. And all we gotta do is just work together. So for some of the people that are out there who are so-called watching this growth, there's room for you. We'll make room for everybody to step up. We're going to talk about RRR, Rastafari against domestic abuse. That was an interesting weekend I just had. I posted something online that said that a coward just hit a woman right now. That's what I said, a coward hit a woman right now. And some virgins came in and they're like, you know, they have some scandalous woman, they don't star. I say, yeah, I know, I dated a few of them. I know exactly what I talk about. But man still murder a woman, so I figured that one out. We're going to talk about the newest thing in the marketplace. Not going to be a long talk, but the people might talk about the earth is flat. Big man like Shaquille O'Neal, I talk about the earth flat. These are the people who are being educated in the United States of America. It makes me wonder. It always makes me wonder. So, before we get into the too much talking, this tune made me very proud, still makes me very proud. For all the Jamaican Canadians out there who love the land of their birth, but also the land that we've been living in, some of it for 30, 40 years. This one's for you from Escaliva, Run Tune Selector. Yeah, you know, enough racism going on in this country, you know. I talk about it every single week. People tell me, say, I talk about it too much. But it can be too much because the degradation that we face is also, it's not even weekly, it's daily. It's minute by minute, it's hourly, it's in every aspect of our life. We are reminded, black people are reminded daily that we're supposed to be inferior. So, them kind of want us to go along with it. That's a complicitness of why it is successful. But a man really can't deal with them programs. So, anyway, I will start with I always want to start with domestic abuse. What I have to remember is the thing that brought me to Roots Reggae Radio was about domestic abuse. So when you want to sit back and pat yourself on the back and build up your chest about how great things are going, is the father kind of ask me a question, or maybe asking the world a question of why we treat the women, our woman, the way we do. What I found out is that us men enjoy the abuse. So, if we can speak to the truth of the situation, we have a chance of making a change. It has made a few people in I circle very uncomfortable with the words I'm saying. And I go after nobody personally enough. Really, I say that the behavior is cowardly. You understand? And I start to look a little deeper into the reasoning behind it. You can't blame always each individual. Some man out in BC must have just killed like a 15-year-old boy, and the police are looking for him. And it is the son of his girlfriend. Him beat the youth so bad to try and find out what the youth mother is, and then find the little boy, and the next day the youth died in the hospital. from the injuries he suffered. Violence, as animals, we all have propensity for violence. People say we're not animals, we're human, we're above those sorts of things. Really? Look at our history and look at our behavior. Don't tell me that you're above anything. Right? We get given higher status from animals because we're supposed to be more intelligent. We're supposed to be so far removed in intellect. We are above the animal kingdom. Our ability for empathy and compassion, problem solving, and the fact that we supposedly are the only ones. This is what I used to learn in the Christian Bible. So only humans have souls. You can't tell me that. When I look at a hibiscus plant, I see soul. When I see a rose, I see soul. When I see a okra, I see soul. You can't tell me only humans have souls. It's foolishness. That is the problem. We separate ourselves too far above anything. We're not gods. We wish we were. We are God-like. We have the God spirit in us. So there is still some God about us, but you're not God. If you ever looked in the eyes of a dog, for instance, you will see everything from intelligence to empathy to love to compassion. I was just watching a thing last night. Them have a family who live with wolves, a pack of wolves, and everything that we express, they were able to document in the wolves because the wolves live in a pack. So somebody died, everybody crying. When puppies were being born, everybody was happy. They got antsy when they were hungry. Like human beings, you're not above anybody. We're a very pompous race of people. We are worse than animals as we happen to murder indiscriminately, sometimes for pleasure. And in some cases, throughout European history, I always point out to the item, read your history books. Nothing I'm saying to you is news. The murdering of humanity is in our history books. We've been murdering a long time. The country, America, themselves about 224, 25 years old or something so. And America has been at war with somebody or themselves now for over 209 years of their existence. When I start to look at the violence, they realize I have to learn about this domestic abuse because there are many factors that guide it, And I feel like I can't make an indentation because the behavior is a global thing. It's like, it's not just here in Canada or in Jamaica, it's every aspect of our lives. In cultures that, like India, where we would like to say some of them are very evolved, not a lot, but parts of Rastafari come from out of India, which is where the name the Gangaroo comes from. But we'll talk about Ital food, and him we learn that from. See? Then people that can dash their wife out the window, king. And them call it honor killing. We must come to grips with the fact that we are responsible for creating this level of violence that we live in. The abuse is commonplace. It's in many homes, in many walks of life. Poor people, middle class, rich people, powerful man, poor man, any man are abusing women. It is that simple. So I did write that thing just to see what kind of response I get. I wanted to get the ladies. I'm trying to get the ladies to do something, and I'm trying to get other virgins to step up for the thing, And in doing so, I wrote a thing saying a coward hit a woman right now. So people chimed in, and it's like, and then a virgin said to me, and I quote, "Best not to get involved and call the popo. I have witnessed more than one hero jump in to save a girl getting licks only to have the same girl he's helping start fighting him along with the abuser. That's true. It not only happens to the heroes, it happens to the policeman then when they go the abuser them yard. And sometimes the woman who called the police, they have to arrest her she up because she fight the police to stop beat up her husband, but they just a beat her. So I know that scenario now. I do know that scenario. But I'm gonna have to tell everyone, I am not a hero. And I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna really give a shit about no calling the police because policeman beat them woman too. You understand? I'm talking about going at the behavior. I know at 50 years, you know, we go through a date, you know, we go through all kind of woman, you know. So, me see them from the top of the heap to the bottom of the heap, you understand? And they will hurt you like every other human being, but I don't overstand or need to murder them. Because as we do so, all we're doing is degrading ourselves. But if we talk about the behavior is cowardly. See? If you don't want to be called a coward, don't beat your woman. You understand? You can't be 6'2" and your woman is 5'2" and you thump her in her face in front of every of them. Once or twice a week. I make it vivid, you know, because I want to keep doing it. You understand? And I is not no hero. We don't need no hero to stop it, woman. You just need to stop. See? We have to recognize the violence within ourselves as humans, as animals. And stop pretending, because while we keep pretending we're something else, the beatings have continued. For however long we've been on this planet, we've been abusing our women. That's the truth. Yeah, scandalous women out there, people. We know that. But the murder rate at which we're going through this thing is way too long. So I want to thank Roots Reggae Radio, Antoinette, and this crew of people that have actually given Rastafari against domestic abuse a voice. As I said, I was asked by someone when I say Rastafari against domestic abuse, who am I to be using that terminology? Did I speak to any other Rastafari councils? I'm gonna make myself clear, people. I'm not have to talk to none of I'm not talk to no council of anybody. I is Rastafari. I say I don't really promote domestic abuse, and that's all I need to say. If you want to talk about politics and names and what I choose of anything, that's your business. If you're not coming to the table defending our woman, walk wide of me, King. I don't want to hear nothing where I say, because I come for to distract the program. You know, see? If you overstood the words I'm saying, you defend the woman and your children and your wife and your daughter in your house. If you're coming to me and asking me why I choose a certain name or color or how I make the ribbon them or all them thing there, then the thing that distraction, move on with. See? I'm going to play my next Esco Levi tonight. Caffeine on, me get your text and your message, my link in a minute, star. This year one here, we did talk about in an interview. This year one here, I got a show and people pull up the track all 3 times. Talk about life in the factory, see? We love caffeine on here. Esco Levi, another proud Canadian, Jamaican reggae artist who doesn't stop, who keeps coming, no matter what we're doing, we keep coming. Yeah, see, proud of you for that, you know. I've been talking about native woman. But before I get to that, I said I'd have an announcement for make tonight about Muta Baruka. And we have made contact with him, so hopefully we will be able to be in interview with him this coming Sunday, right here on Roots Reggae Radio at, wow, I think Antoinette did say between 5 and 7. I don't remember. Is that time slot there between 5 and 7? Yeah. So the great Muta Baruka will be here. And I want to play something from him. And yeah, it is an older piece. But why I like it, it's one of my favorite works that he's done, is because he's so correct with it. That poem is still writing itself. So listen keenly. Can't keep it rolling to that podcast.
This poem shall speak of the wretched sea that once ships to these shores, of mothers crying for their young swallowed up by the sea. This poem shall say nothing new. This poem shall speak of time, time unlimited, time undefined. This poem shall call names, names like Lumumba, Kenyatta, Nkrumah, Hannibal, Akhenaton, Malcolm, Garvey, Haile Selassie. This poem is vexed about apartheid, racism, fascism, the Ku Klux Klan, riots in Brixton, Atlanta, Jim Jones. This poem is revolting against first world, second world, third world, division, man-made decision. This poem is like all the rest. This poem will not be amongst great literary works, will not be recited by...
Yeah, you have to understand, that one there, this poem, it's never ending, it's always written, and what he does, and he always does, is he just titillizes your brain, makes you think, and makes you start to realize where's the information coming from. The Bible and the Penthouse magazine and the daily newspaper and all the ads that we listen to, and he questions you. And he makes you question yourself. It's a blessing if we can have a couple of minutes with him. It will be this Sunday. And we have some more of these kind of interviews we're going to start really do. This is going to be like a special edition. Yeah, this will be a special edition of the show this coming Sunday. Looking forward to it, so I hope it works out. Keep your fingers crossed and tune in. You know. What was it? 416-651-0101. Info at rootsreggaeradio.ca, and that's ROOTZ reggaeradio.ca. Yes, alright. My brethren Catherine said him want a little conversation tonight, so he's on the way home from work and we will touch him as soon as he does. Seen? Yeah, I'm actually texting people in the middle of a show, but that's how we do it here. God, we just live and direct and we're the same. Going back to the native situation. Rasta, I don't know how we live on this planet and watch what we do to native people. I thought that I was it's almost like third person that I'm watching. It's like I'm watching a movie of cowboys and Indians, and the cowboy, the army is just walking through the native people in the village, and the children are sitting there and pot cooking and then washing clothes, and it's like so surreal. What's happening in Standing Rock is incredible. That we can just take their land and just put a pipeline and shut up people. You're used to being abused, shut up. And then 12,000 plus women, over 12,000 women disappeared. what you're really looking at, is another continued story of degradation for women in our culture. A lot of the people in our culture are just not catching it. Them want to wait till the fire come off of them door, and that's when they want to step up all of a sudden. If you remember, obviously back in the 50s and the 60s, there's enough photographs to show German shepherds, fire hoses, billy clubs, black people getting cracked in the forehead with these billy clubs, and it was all over the news. And it just seemed to be a race issue, yeah? But what happened years later, when the stock market crashed and everybody lost everything, and the middle class started to shrink in the United States of America, and white Americans and white Canadians went to the streets, went to the parks to occupy them in protest of what the government was taking away from them, taking their rights away from them. So these white people went to live and California, they did it too, to protest a government that doesn't care about the money they're taking away from the middle class they don't care about. And the thing that a lot of these folks were not prepared for, and they're still not prepared for today, but that is why Uncle Jules is here. I am here to help you to sift through the crap in your brains. The similarity of when you guys started to get upset about this stuff and go live in your parks, we black people were laughing, actually. I was laughing. I can tell you I was laughing. No joke. I was belly aching. And the reason for it is that when we were being beaten on the streets all over the United States of America, when we were being murdered in Jamaica and Cuba, not even Cuba. Cuba didn't have to quite even close to the crime rate that other places have, but Jamaica, of course. When we were being murdered, white people didn't even budge. But now, your government is taking your money and you're pissed off. And you're starting to realize that your government doesn't care what color the nigger comes in. Nigger not just for black anymore. The slave, the plantation is real. See? The only time you want to cry and run your mouth is when the stuff is at your door, right? Well, y'all on this global plantation, whether you get it or not, you are now slaves like the rest of us. And that's what's really happening. And here we are watching 15,000 Native women over the past decade disappear. And what are we doing? Nothing. You know why we're doing nothing? Because it's not white girls. The minute they start to take the blonde, they're already doing it. They're just not doing it to the rate that they're taking the Native women, but they're already taking some, and it will escalate. And when it does hit your door, that's when you're gonna start screaming and begging for help. When the Native women will have lost another 10,000, making it 20 to 30,000 Native women missing and disappeared. And the reason it's happening is because none of us are budging. If you look at, I think it was in CP24 News yesterday, some artist hung red dresses all over Queen's Park. The red dresses were to signify that the life of each of the women that are not here anymore. And I am like, oh, Catherine, all this always interrupting. Anyway, each dress signifies a life, and yet thousands of dresses hung on trees all over Queen's Park. And it's such a vivid image, and still, I don't hear one blonde white woman get up and go, hey, why are you killing my sisters? But it will reach your door, ladies. It will come to white women. You'll see. I'm not wishing this on anybody. I'm just saying to you, we're not budging, so we're gonna pay a price for it. I want to show you something, you know, and this is something where I noticed a long time ago, and I've repeated it to a few people. Stephen Harper, the previous Prime Minister of Canada, was a known bigot. Like, it wasn't like it was a secret. Most of these guys are anyways, not a secret, tiny of them. Some are just more politically astute than the others, to pretend that they are down with us brothers, and they're not. Okay, straight out. So the Prime Minister of this country at the time, Stephen Harper, had a problem with Native people. He didn't like them very much. He did nothing to help the situation. When he was asked about the disappeared, he said it's being worked on. He doesn't like Native people, so what does he do? He ignores the women. He picks on the women. Doesn't help. He didn't like Muslim people either, and still doesn't. So what does he do? He attacks the women in the court system, saying that they can't get legal representation if they wear their hijabs. So he has a problem with Muslims, and he picks on the women. Has a problem with natives, he picks on the women. And not one, maybe a few did, because I know a couple of my ladies probably would have, but many blonde-haired, blue-eyed Canadian girls never got up and said, yo, or even some of the people in the West Indian and African community. How many of you women even got up and said, why are you attacking us, women? Because it's us, them are attacking us. It's not Native women, it's us. You just separate yourself because you're buying into this bullshit race business. It's women that they're abusing. That man, Harper, didn't like women. You have a lot of men in your government that don't like women, and we're afraid to speak on it. We're afraid to speak on the disappeared because a lot of people are saying that it is government aided by either our police forces or authorities or the RCMP. That is why there is no development in the cases, because the police ain't gonna police themselves. And if they're making good money trafficking women, that's what's gonna happen. Who cares about these Native women? Nobody cares. Start to wake up, people. It is coming to your door. So anyway, we're gonna play some music again, you know. So, since my friend Catherine now keep texting me and harassing me during the show, we're in G1. So, in that road right now, so we'll go our road tonight. See?
Match the shirt, yeah. Brianna can make me smell sweeter.
Yeah, it's the girls. Can't find the motor again for me. My boy. This poem is what I look for. Yeah. Actually, I'm just, because you know what's beautiful about internet radio is that me can do more and do. So, I'm so excited to have Muta. I have an opportunity to interview with him. That I'm gonna play his poem one more time because this is from Deaf Poetry Jam, you know. So this is probably about 5 years ago, maybe. I have to ask him, maybe even longer. But it's the thing that so defines him to me, the fact that his thought process, he's able to get you and me to think about it and to actually come up with our poem of our own. What are you looking at in life? What is it that guides you? See? And this poem is that poem. So, what I said, Miss Ira, give me that poem then now.
All right, so come.
Thank you for strawberries. Yeah, that is how it works. That's how Muta Baruka works. You know, he gets you to think and to question because I'm learning. You know, I get a like older each day, a little bit more experience, and I start to learn and I start to reach out to other people. You have to, in order to elevate, you have to kind of learn. Excuse me. That's hard for people like me. I'm not really down with depending on people I don't like. I love my independence like everybody else. That'd be awesome. But as we grow, you start to learn to live within self. Learn to bring the truth out of yourself. You understand? You find that, you ever notice that when old people attack, they must say anything that comes to them out. It's a good reason, because they must talk now because they don't sugarcoat nothing. See? Yeah. So I met up with our Adrian recently, you know. And the man asked me some questions. And I'm gonna give these questions to you. It's just to give away. Who want to hear it, hear it. He who feels it knows it. If you're an entrepreneur out there, answer these 3 questions. But for each question, you must have 5 different responses. You understand? So, what do you do for people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give 5 answers of what you do for people, or your product, I guess, whatever it is you think you want to do. What makes it or you different? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what should people, and last but not least, the 3rd question is, why should people care about your product? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same. Now, that can take you 3 days, that could take you 7, it could take you 10, it could take you a month to figure out what it is you want to say. But that's the runnings. And then after I heard those words and I answered each question, it really helped to hone in some of my thought process as to maybe what I want to try and do with reggae. What is it I think I'm trying to do? Because to this day and age, as much as I work on reggae music, I'm still trying to figure out this system that blocks what we are about. So, this questionnaire helped me to bring more clearly to my thoughts and maybe help to push me in a direction where I gotta go. And I will Where is it now? Reggae. Just the word reggae. This is what drives me up most of the time. Day in, day out. I work on it every day. And speaking to someone that I know who's pretty much a marketing wizard in this Babylonian time, has a message, has a mission to aid my message to the planet. And what I see and feel isn't something that the power brokers who run this world want to see and feel. I have always believed, I have always said that reggae has the largest demographic of any audience on the continent or island or planet of Earth. It has no limit. Reggae really has no limit. So when I used to go to Molson's or Labatt's or whoever it was back in the day or whatever liquor company it was that I had to go and do something spiritual with, and then say, what demographic are you catering to? I'm like, everybody. And they're like, no, we need you to, if you're getting the 22 to 26 year olds, we need this beer. If you're getting the 26 to the 32 or 33 year olds, we need this beer. We also need chasers and we need this, blah, 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 blah. What demographic are you going after? And I'm like, everybody. From 5-year-old to 6 and 9 and 22 and 45 and 94. Reggae music is everybody. We don't have no the demographic is everybody. Reggae is a live energy. Reggae is uncontained spiritual live energy. Uncontained. The spiritual energy resonates on its own frequency and it touches all people, no matter age, race, or creed. It cannot be contained. The path to sell, you hear me? The path to sell, that is the physical world. On this physical plane, in this physical realm, it is not a possibility. The power broker has seen to that. We now sell reggae to nobody because reggae play everywhere and whole heap of people in Jamaica broke and poor. How come? They found a way to minimize its profitability, going back to the people who make it. Reggae only knows one path. It's a spiritual path. We may need to rethink the tactics used to sell physical things, whether they can be adapted to a spiritual path. That is the challenge, you know. Real integrity of humanity must be that path. Those things may not be as profitable as greed and chaos. Yet there are those who feel the spiritual responsibility like I do. Many people all over the globe, it is obvious because they happen to be reggae fans. Reggae touches them. Reggae touches people who don't speak English. People who cannot speak English can recite the lyrics to reggae songs in patois. That tells you the depth of the music, man. Reggae for life, that's my thing. Reggae for life encompasses the spiritual love that we're trying to talk about. So if you know what me is, and you know about the reggae for life, and you know the culture of what we're trying to bring to the plate, that is where you get involved and help us by supporting our programs for Reggae for Life. I want to play a Chelsea Stewart in my brother. Long time I hear when I tune them. Look a songbird coming out of Canada. Our day will come. Run tune, my brother. Can you? Yeah, give me some kind of sign. As I hear that wonderful voice of Fergus Hamilton, I would beg you, my brother, to find that tune for him. Rendezvous. That's one of my favorite. Another one, I forget the next one called Positive Thinkers. It was done by the Satellites, but written by Mr. Robinson, the one called Preacher. Rest in power, my brethren. Enough people miss you still. But, you know, Canadian. Before that was a little sister called Chelsea Stewart. You guys have heard about her. She and her mom, Karen, very ambitious and very hardworking. I think them done in Jamaica now in a studio. I make car album. So I'm travel the world and go everywhere for promote Chelsea and her music. So I gotta give props to them, you know. And it was a nice cover track still. I'm gonna play a little more music. There is a festival coming in July which features Tessa and Chin. I believe my brethren Devon Hatton has a lot to do with it. I hope it looks like you do. So I promote and think I love my friend Devon Hatton. And this artist, RRR, will be singing on that as well. I learned that today. So here's a track he did a few years ago, a cover track of the late great John Holt, and it's called Love I Can Feel. I want to do that. Yeah, it's Ibadan, and I thought I just saw it. Love I Can Feel right there. Yeah. Oh. I will borrow from your glasses instead of your glasses.
Everybody here. And show you actually the engineer. Microphone.
Yeah, man, that is Stephen Ragamali covering his father, the Gong. He's covering his music. That's one of the sweetest secret tracks I've heard. I heard it when I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. I did my best rent a tile on the veranda. But it was a really cool tune. Yeah, this is just like a thing that I picked up on past couple of days because I find it interesting. Now, the people on this planet, can I find it? It's as we enter, but we'll take that.
Alright, let me see.
Yeah. Them have they've been teaching us. I say we've been going to school. We're not learning much. We're just being programmed. We're being programmed to think the things we're going to think, for the factories we're going to work in, for the offices we're going to go in, high rises, and programmed to do what we do. Everybody's programmed. It's cool. It doesn't mean you can't live a fulfilling life. See? But within the programming, we just bought into whatever we were told. So a very, very long time ago, somebody came up with a notion or a theory that the earth was no longer flat, it was round. And that you wouldn't fall off the edge if you kept sailing. So people went around the world charting the oceans and charting land, discovered land, so-called discovered. I don't know, you can discover something where people are already living on it, but okie dokie. But the European did a lot of discovering and stealing of resources and killing people, but it's okay. We'll get back to that. So now all of a sudden there's this theory going around, reverting to the early days before technology, saying that the earth is flat. And why this has kind of hit more is there's a lot of people out there doing it and truly believing in it. There's organizations out there growing saying that there's proof now that the earth is flat. Apollo 13 never happened. It's all photographs from a studio made up. The Earth is not round. It's well, now that it's been on its axis for a long time, people are thinking it's not even round anymore. It's more oblong based on the fact that it rotates through the equator, so it changes the circumference of the planet over millions of years. So instead of round, the Earth is now oblong. Well, you can take all those things, but why this has gone further is because people in the NBA, like Kyrie Irving, who's the guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which LeBron James plays for the team, was saying that the Earth is flat, and Shaquille O'Neal stepped up to defend it, saying he believes it too. That's surprising to me a little bit, because both these, I would say, I don't want to call them idiots, but both these gentle people are travelers. They've been in the air. They've been on a plane. If you ever go on a plane, you don't argue about whether the Earth is flat or round. It's clear that it goes off into a moving horizon, and it's unnecessary to even follow. Now, I, for one, as an unknown, I question Darwin. I don't believe in the theory of evolution. I really don't. I believe in some science, but some of it doesn't compute with me. Maybe I need somebody to help me more to learn why I have this affinity to not listen to Darwin's theory. Yet, dinosaurs did live here. I see it. I see the fossils. I see, if you want to tell me they made them up, okay, whatever. But there's just too much all over the world to say that dinosaurs are somebody's trick, because they're finding now full skeletons of a T-Rex that they call her Sue, who lived to 28 years old and had all kinds of injuries, but she was around up to a certain period of time. I just don't see the link between the dinosaur to man. Like, what cold-blooded reptile became a monkey, or a giraffe, or a goat, and what that reptile that became the monkey, how did it know to turn its DNA into Cro-Magnon, into what? Bro, I don't buy that stuff. But it doesn't mean the dinosaurs weren't here, because they were. I'm just saying that the explanation that they're trying to give us just doesn't work. Dinosaurs did exist. Man does exist. Both things happen to be true. It's that horseshit explanation, people. If you don't want to buy into some super being that made the stars and the moon in 7 days, it doesn't mean you get to come up with a theory that out of nowhere in space there was this big bang and the whole world was made. Well, what happened before the bang? We all did a little physics and chemistry. You know, you need something or other to escalate the next thing to create an explosion or fire. You know, them say we put ammonia with like ammonia in your home with vinegar, you can literally create a bomb. So what was it in the nothingness of space that created gunpowder and sulfur to blow millions of miles across the galaxy to where we are today? Because they're saying from where the Big Bang happened to where we are today, it's millions of miles. Okay, alrighty then. Maybe my brain's too small, I can't figure it out. But what's interesting to me about this flat earth theory is the fact that man like Shaq and Kyrie Irving went to universities. They got scholarships to play in universities. What does it tell you about the educational system in the United States of America when two grown men actually now believe that the earth is flat. And you know what? I shouldn't mock them because they used to mock people years ago when they said the earth was round. They said they were crazy. There's no possibility of it being round. Because when you're walking, all you can see ahead of you is a flat surface until you hit some mountains. So I'm not trying to diss anybody, but I can't buy into it. And I'm thinking, if you've ever been in an airplane, ever in your life, the curvature of the earth is plainly apparent. So maybe you're saying that when you're up in the air it's an optical illusion, I don't know. But that's and there's a term for them now, they're called flat earthers. So if your children come home and I tell you it's the earth flat, boy, send them go back to school, I change the school with them and something wrong with that program. But maybe I am the one who's wrong. So if anybody can have an opinion on whether the earth is flat or round, please give me a call. 416-651-0101. I'm willing to entertain maybe an explanation that I don't see. So I am one of the skeptical ones. I'm still saying the earth. I'm going with round. Because I used to live on the equator, I'm sure the earth is round. But I don't know. I'll play some more music. Which one you did find? This one from Zion?
I didn't get to select, so you have to go talk, so I Road to Zion.
Yeah, we'll take that one there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I didn't want as we enter. I love that tune there with him and Nas.
Yeah, but I don't see.
Yeah. How you doing, Annie? I just got your email. My little friend Annie, she listens in every week. She's the one who actually just really came to the aid of so many people within the reggae community. And big up, honey. I'm in around for the thing. I'm grateful for what you do. So, yeah, I always play a tune for Annie. This one's for you. This is Damian Marley and Nas. Can you give me how you feel about that? If you could just... Ready for the road. Yeah, we're still away from the bridge and Catherine all calling, so... Yeah, I was kind of stalling because I didn't want to get into this too much, but I'm going to just get pieces of it. For all the reggae artists out there, I forget that message in here from the one guy, guys, you know, when me and him and I stick a sit on our reason, we are wondering to myself, oh, some of the artists and really spend more time supporting each other. So Errol's message to all of you out there is that it's coming to that season. The first day of spring was Monday past, even though today cold no backside. You know, the sun has shined more now, and the season has come. So pick and choose the events you want to go to and support other artists, even artists we have never gone to see. You only hear about them, you know. Go support them. You understand? Yeah, so getting into this a little bit. This is you'll be able to tell that what I read it comes from some levels of frustration. So bear with it. I'm not angry at you, I'm not angry at the system. I'm more angry at myself for not recognizing it previously. So with all of the rhetoric and the opinions about the inclusion of reggae music in this country as a part of the fabric of the mainstream, there is information available to those who seek the truth of this situation through conversation with anyone within the genre and further discussion with Toronto Reggae's Jason McLean, who helped to provide me with some of the visuals I'm going to talk to you about tonight. As I said to you before, Canada deliberately blocks reggae music. We need to have that conversation. Yeah. Don't be afraid to talk about it because it is the truth. We're We don't have to accept the behavior. It's unnecessary for us to accept such behavior. We are supposed to be programmed with acceptance and compliance, but we're not. Reggae people, reggae soldiers, we're not compliant to none. So we're just not made for it. You know, it's God's music as far as we're concerned. So, and then I said God, when I say God, when I say God, you know, we're talking about His Majesty. We're talking about something even deeper than the God concept that some of you have. All right. Well, as usual, wherever there is the rule of the white man, black humans have feel a sense of utility as we kind of throw our hands up in the air as it pertains to doing anything about our plight, including our music. Canadian white society has the unique ability to smile in our face as it deliberately removes our rights as humans and tell you that it's just, dudes, it's just the way it is. The lack of respect for black people is only surpassed by their elitism and sense of entitlement. And I want to touch on her again, Mary Margaret McMahon. She is the counselor of the Woodbine area. She decided to stop the Afrofest, cut it in half from 2 days down to 1 at her whim. You know what I think about when she's thinking about this? Saying, okay, you know what? I'm gonna teach those niggers a lesson. Because that's what it sounds like to me. I could be wrong, but if you have the ability to cut a festival from 2 days down to 1, why would you do it? Every vendor, every single person who brings anything to sell, to eat, clothing, they have made, since the previous year, prepared everything that they're going to do for 2 days. They have already bought most of their stuff. They've already made all their dresses, they made all their drums, they made every sculpture, painting. Everything's already done. So you cut the festival in half, you have systematically taken out of their hands and their mouths food. The festival could have made, let's say, $100,000 a day. You know it's gonna make more than that, but let's just go with that. You are willing in your white superiority, willing to take, and I'd say it wouldn't be 100,000 because it's probably close to $1 million. 40 to 60,000 people a day go to Afrofest. And because you had 8 complaints from 8 white people, you're going to cut the festival in half. And no one mentions it to her. Justin Trudeau, the boy I name now, John Tory, and that lady there, Kathleen Wynne. Them people that are supposed to be this lady a boss. This lady called Mary Margaret McMahon. These people are their bosses. And not one of them said to her, Mary, you know, that's a little bit out there. That's a little weird for you to want to take that much money away from people. You know? But with her white superiority, she's able to do so. Well, we need to focus on those things. We need to ask, we need to go to our racist government and ask them to not be so blatantly racist. And whenever people like Mary Margaret does what she does, you really, really need to put her out of that job. Put somebody else there who is more compassionate, maybe somebody who's more into black people, or Chinese people, or maybe just not as bigoted as this lady seems to be. I would love to have her on my show. I'd love to ask her questions. So, Mary Margaret McMahon, the invitation's out to you. I know you ain't coming, but I'm gonna send it out to you to come on this show and tell us why. Tell me why, and my audience, why you would want to cut Afrofest from 2 days down to 1. So I've just extended an invitation to this woman. So some people tell me that I shouldn't speak about people and speak her name and stuff. I don't care, bro. It's not because I'm being rude. It's because I'm pointing out something that has been done. You trying to explain to me how the noise, she says, the noise complaint for Afrofest is so bad when in reality it's the same sound company that does the jazz festival in the beaches. So where the white people hang out and do jazz, the sound is fine, but where the black people play drums up in Woodbine, it's not so fine. How come? Yeah. So we screamed and yelled and we sent tweets and faxes and emails. I know people send faxes. And phone calls to their offices. And somehow they rescinded their decision and the festival went on for 2 days. I wonder what's going to happen this year. I wonder if they're going to harass these people, or they already said to them, you know what, man, you're only getting 1 day this year. I wonder if that's what's going to happen. And they're going to keep it quieter this year so there's not this huge backlash. I'm wondering why my Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, hasn't said anything to this woman yet. But we keep thinking Justin isn't a bigot, but I know why Stephen Harper before him was a bigot, is a bigot, but I wasn't sure about Justin. So we'll keep working with our program there. Let's see if we show up and talk to them people there. You understand? So, them have this group of people, so them is some board our council and about diversity in music in Toronto. And I've met with all of them, every one of them. Well, not everyone actually, the ones that I've worked with throughout and had enough conversation with them to know that all they're going to do is talk. The diversity in music doesn't have anything to do with them invested in reggae music. There's only one thing you can do to help reggae music or any other music or any other thing you want to bring to your country is investment. You have to invest in the thing. So, on that note, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back to the other folks that I need to deal with. We're going to play this Trayson. Trayson actually tweeted the show today. So, in honor of my brethren tweeting the show and promoting Roots Reggae Radio, we drop Jenny Rockefeller again. Trayson, yeah, we're sitting here talking about Muta Baruka. We're kind of excited about him linking up on Sunday, if it's a possibility. You understand? Muta Baruka is like truly one of the. I wouldn't. Him probably wouldn't want the term prophet, you know, because I humbly would still, but I'm not care. Him kind of like a prophet to me. You see? So anyway, come back to this thing, but. Because I'm saying these things so maybe the item will go and look it up yourselves. For the musician and fan, music is music. Blues, jazz, reggae, country, house, rock, hip hop, all that is music to us. There's no diversity in music. It's just music. Why is it they always, Canadians and white people always want to categorize things and give them names? Just music is good with us. I know there's house music, and we can call their names of the music we want, but it's still just music. Build the music, you know? So they spend the time and come up with all kinds of things and pat themselves on the back and make up all these bullshit committees about diversity in music. I never heard such horseshit from the day I was born. If you're going to make up this diversity in music a committee, how long does it take you to recognize what you all know, we know, you know, that we know, you know? You know what I'm talking about? Investment in self, investment in the local cultures. Not TD Bank. You need to get TD Bank out of Toronto. I know named Toronto Dominion, but you really need to get rid of it. The banking institutions, if we know that you're funding the pipeline and murdering Native people still, you should not be funding reggae music. And some of the people who are reggae funding are going to be mad at me for saying these things, but that's just my talk, you people. If Peter Tosh was here, or Bob Marley was here, he would tell you people, like, so you're taking money from the bloodsucker that's raping third world nations like Jamaica, but paying for reggae gigs in Toronto. Really? Okay. Like I said, people, we need to find a different way to finance reggae, and it can't always come from a banking institution. Reggae is a spiritual thing. The banking institutions, the Babylonian system is always going to try and get into reggae music, okay? The people that are collecting money from TD Bank to run your business, go right ahead. I have no problem with it. Go do what you gotta do. But I guess making sure that, TD Bank, them can't come give JuLion no money for reggae music. You keep your money. And I just bata and do what I can. I may never make it, but I don't want your money, okay? We need to speak it real. Does anybody remember the term multiculturalism? Does anybody remember that word? It's not till years later we realize the word was used for segregation, more so because they were trying to tell us multiculturalism to bring us all together. No, it was about making us up, making us being who we be. Well, Canada is a multicultural place, I get it. But unfortunately, I don't want to be defined all the time by these people. So, another example of this depth of racism that we have to face and white elitism is a counselor, Jim Carrigannis, I can't remember the Karyggiannis of Ward 39, who wanted to ban Beyonce from coming to this country because her backup dancers wore costumes resembling the Black Panther movement. Now, after a racist boy got called out on it, like the snake that this like a politician was, he backed off it and said he never said it. Yeah, he's not only a racist, he's a coward, but then again, they're both one and the same. Racism and cowardice are within the same realm, as is abuse to women. It's a coward system that we're allowing ourselves to be a part of. We need to cut this out. The lions need to rise. We can't allow for the cowards to continue to run this planet, yeah? So, on that term, I'm going to give old Jim.
Listen.
I'm going to give Jim a little break. And I'm going to play a Caffeinol tune. I was supposed to talk to him tonight, but he never make it. So, I love this one because this is he got one of Jamaica's original dancehall artist, what the people call a toaster. Daddy Uri. And this track is called Now Complain. Run.
That just right after what you said. Me not complain.
We now complain. Where's a move?
Yeah.
Where's a move? Them can't dictate to me. But I'm gonna make them know me know.
Me have a success. Me know a curse and the worst, but Father God first. That's why me stay blessed. Can't see nothing I want. Me not walk and stretch out me arm. Me never come here to tell and show me a complete.
Oh?
That's why me not come.
What time? Yeah. Mister, we not complain, you know. I told you I can't sing, but it won't stop me from trying. Or not trying, no. I just bust certain tones, and you just take it as singing, and you have to live with it. I don't care that I can't do it very well. I love it. Yeah, man. Well, why? Caffeinal Jeffrey Williams. I want you to take 2 Fensic and call me in the morning. I was supposed to talk last week, this week, next week, we're not talking all now, but it's okay, my brother. You don't know. I know you're upon the slave, and I must say to the people out there, Caffeinal to me is like one of the coolest youth them in the Canadian reggae scene. Is that man will go around and promoting music and promotes himself and gets on festivals, and you hear him do that thing with Uri and do that tune with Yellowman and Ken Booth, Ken Booth was just here recently. Caffeinal does a lot to put his music and himself into a position where he can maybe perform on the world stage more and more and elevate the reggae scene in Canada. I'm not left out there, so I'm going to talk about it. And that is what is happening now. We need more of us to look at this music in a global way and stop thinking about Canada so much. I have to do Canada. I have to do what I can do to keep the music alive in the place. But as an artist then, we need to look beyond Canada. Reggae is worldwide music. It's not Canadian music. So, having a meeting with Esco, he will look at his royalty check, and he's getting paid out of Europe and getting far more spins on his music out of Europe, and then now I'm just in Canada. So, focus outside. Focus on promoting yourselves as an international act. And at some point, when the money looking good for them, they will come around. Because everything is based on the dollar, everything is based on popularity. When you stop asking people for help and focus on your own and start to do what you do, they will come and sneak a peek at what you're doing. So it's 2 minutes to 9. It's 1 minute to 9. I'm going to finish with one track from Mr. Caffeinal. I want to thank Errol Istick. Mystic, we never do push-ups tonight, King. You owe me some push-ups. And my little tall friend on the camera. Run tune, my brother.
I don't wanna wait. You pay for your love, no. You pay for your love, no. I don't wanna wait. You pay for your love, no. Ayo. With no love in this unfair life. When I go, don't you dare cry. Where were you when you were needed? Now you're
Here by my graveside, crying your eyes out like you love me.
that you never could nothing above me. Hide from my
You got